Does this look familiar? Probably not. Or maybe you've seen this in a dream. Maybe you think it's all fist bumps and smiles. But you're wrong. In this land, it can be pure bliss one moment, instant frustration the next. This isn't your backyard. This is raw. Real. No one's here to hold your hand. It's not always easy, and it's never what you expect. But this is a place where the journey is the reward, and the reward is an experience of a lifetime.
All right, 15 days ago I was on a Greyhound bus headed down to Miami to catch a flight down to Santiago, really with no idea, no expectations of what was going to happen.
That's my buddy Zach. Not only is he one of the best water ski jumpers in the world, he's also one of the best guys to have on a Flowpoint trip. So we decided to bring him along, again. But before I get too far ahead, let's talk about this trip and how we found ourselves at the bottom of the world.
I had a trip planned, a backpacking trip with a friend, and we were supposed to go climbing through the south of Chile looking for rocks, and that was it.
Meet Augusto. We call him Guto when things get stressful. This whole trip is his fault, in a good way, so I'll let him start it all off.
One day we got together and said we should take a boat and ski in the lakes, move easier through the lakes, but it was all kind of kidding.
Augusto called me and sent me, "Hey, Gregorio, I have a crazy idea."
I got home and I took the idea seriously. I went on Mastercraft's webpage. I couldn't find a contact, so I went to customer service, said I had a problem with my boat. I don't really have a boat. And I told them about the trip. I said we were gonna go skiing and we had everything ready, and we really didn't. It was just a backpacking trip. They answered right away, like 15 minutes later I got a response. They said, "That sounds amazing. Let's talk, we can work something out." 5 minutes later I get another email. "Hey, maybe contact Marcus Brown, he might be interested."
I am planning a ski trip from the Patagonia, and I messaged Marcus Brown, and I said, "Who? Who is Marcus Brown?"
That was kind of weird for me at first because I knew who he was and I looked up to him, but I've never even thought of meeting him. He's from the US, I'm not even a good skier or anything. But I still went to his webpage, contacted him, and he liked the idea, and we're here.
I knew little to nothing about Patagonia until I came across a documentary called 180 Degrees South. It had such a profound impact on me. I'm not sure if it was the music, the freedom of the story, or the scenery, or all of it. But from that moment 7 years ago, I knew I had to get to Patagonia, somehow. So when I got an email from some crazy kid in Santiago talking about an adventure trip, I was immediately hooked.
When Marcus Brown floated the idea of doing a Patagonia trip, I was all for it because I grew up doing long road trips with my family. I'd seen some documentaries about Patagonia, but I never imagined water skiing there.
Well, you took the bag.
Oh, I took the bag? What did I do with the bag?
You put the bag there.
I don't need the bag.
Well, give me the bag.
Bag's for the shit.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Exactly. I didn't have a mic.
Do you have a,
I was worried about audio for a second. You didn't have a mic.
do you have a memory card?
It's internal.
You have internal too?
Yeah.
No shit.
Testing.
1, 2.
1, 2, testing.
You need a, what do you need now?
I need a SIM
You're
card.
so fucking needy.
I needed the SIM card the whole time.
Dude, you've been asking me for shit left and right.
No, you asked me for the 2 once how long.
16 gigabytes gonna be enough, bud.
Yeah, man.
Alright, let's try that.
That's how you pack a truck.
We're in Santiago. We had a pretty long, you had a pretty long flight, and now we're finally heading south to Patagonia.
Now, I've been to Santiago a few times, but really had only ever gone to the city and not seen much of what Chile has to offer. So I was really excited to fly into Santiago and then promptly leave the city and get out and start seeing something that I've never seen and only heard about on my trips down to Chile before. Marcus needs a wetsuit. See how he's doing. How we doing there, Bob? Looking good? Picking up a last minute GoPro accessories. Headed down south, about a 7-hour drive. 8-hour drive. Yeah. Not if we drive fast, take chances, ain't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had like 3 vehicles coming down. We ran into bumper to bumper traffic out of nowhere. We're like, what the hell is going on? Sure enough, there's a semi broken down. We look at the front of the semi as we go by, and the radiator's busted in. There's fluid all over the ground. We're like, man, that sucked if this was our crew. And within a second, we look over to the right, and our crew has the back of the truck smashed in, and this bike is mangled on the back. And we weren't on the trip for 2 hours before we already got rear-ended by a semi. Oh, man.
I think your bike took the most of it.
It's not my bike.
Got rear-ended by a semi-truck.
What happened?
He slammed on his brakes and then we were good to go, but the semi couldn't
The
stop.
semi smoked you. Semi? Jesus. We're only an hour into the trip. Oh no. Yeah, I think that's when it was. Trip's happening and it's a go.
We're sorry, bud. Your bag got squashed.
It wasn't until upon arrival, one of the first things that it goes to ask me was, did you see the smoke flying in? You apologized for the lack of scenery because there was so much smoke, and you know, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize how devastating these wildfires spreading across Chile were. And it wasn't until we started driving and it started getting hazy and foggy, and then we realized that there was no oncoming traffic coming up. That's because they had shut that half of the highway down due to wildfires. So we literally drove through the highway with fires on either side of us, lots of smoke, and that's when it really came to perspective that these guys are dealing with a natural disaster right now with these fires, and a lot of things are in jeopardy. Pretty eye-opening to see that on the ride home, and then after we arrived, we found out in the morning they had actually shut the entire highway down and pretty much cut off any more vehicles traveling south.
Well, Colico is a lake in the south of Chile where my family has a summer house, and I've been going there since I was born. The land was bought the year I was born, so it was really big for me bringing the skiers we were going with to that lake and skiing with them and having like a really good time in my favorite place in probably the world. It means a lot to me.
Trying to heat it up, hotter than an oven. Right, bring it on. let's make trouble. There's no use staying in the line, there's another level. I'm solid gold, come be my muse. Hit cruise control, let it all go. Won't you wind me up and watch me move? I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now, and it feels so good.
We went out and shot at 6:30, 7 o'clock, came back for a full course breakfast.
Now bring it on back, just come closer. I want to do it all again, then start over. Bright, bright lights and technicolor. Oh, I just can't get enough, gets no better. I'm solid gold, come be my muse. Hit cruise control.
Came back in for a light lunch, which ended up being a 3-course lunch.
I'm solid gold, come be my muse.
Here we are, Kaliko Lake, with a group of our new best friends.
Wind me up and watch me move. I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now, I'm feeling it now, and it feels so good. I'm feeling it now, I'm walking on a cloud and I ain't coming down, yeah, it feels so good.
Our whole day was kind of spread out and really had a chance to kind of savor each moment for what it was rather than getting through it, getting it done, and checking something off the list. Each moment, each check that we did, we enjoyed thoroughly.
We're like really in a family environment. It was good because we got to really know each other and like make our group like a real team before we started the long trip.
Too much party for month.
Too much piscola.
Too much piscola.
Oh,
White
there it is.
White pisco.
This life's not cut out for everyone, bud. Zach is doing some kind of round robin knot that he learned in Girl Scouts.
Just trying to get out of here so we can go to the next stop. John won't stop talking.
I guess the hardest part wasn't really the language, but the different styles of doing everything. I guess everything's a little slower down here.
Zach, can you tell me the new information you just discovered?
Yeah, you see this fine hand job in packing all this?
Yeah.
Look what they forgot to mention. Needs to go in there. So after I pack the entire truck, when do we leave? We don't. We hang around and then unpack half the truck because half the people forgot to put stuff in the truck they needed packed in their bags. Yo necesito cerveza porque mi amigos muy all over the place.
He didn't know about the climbing gear coming later.
There's climbing gear?
Yeah.
Where's it all at?
The other truck.
Where's the other all the stuff
My
at?
house. Why are you so worried? I've loaded up this truck like...
I know, well let's get on the road.
Okay, yeah. We were supposed to leave this morning. It's 5 o'clock. They actually have a saying here in Patagonia, whoever hurries is losing time. And quien se apura pierde el tiempo, they say down here. I guess when you're slower, you really enjoy the moment.
We're at the grocery store trying to figure it out, and we have no cooler, nothing to cook with, no utensils, but yet we have a ton of food. And I was thinking maybe like the essentials to actually cook with would help. We stopped again. We left the grocery store 45 minutes ago and we've made it 2 miles. 3 stops. For no reason, just because no one knows what's going on. Guto! What's happening? You know say? Our tour guide has no idea where we're going.
Back to the ocean. Can we go?
So we finally made it to our spot for the night, and now upon unpacking all the stuff that we packed up so nicely earlier, we're missing 1 or 2 tents, yet to find the sleeping bags. Don't have a cooler. We don't have forks or plates or cups. It's off to a great start. I'm really excited. We have forks? Oh, we have forks.
Back to the ocean. Back to the ocean. Can we go?
Here we're in Mewin, looking for the spot, for the surf spot, and have fun in the water with the local guys. And Isaac, I borrowed him a board, so just enjoy.
Do as the locals do, and back home it would be just, you would have a pinpoint destination along your way and an hour sheet of how everything was supposed to be broken down. Here we had a pretty loose idea of where we want to stop, where we want to camp, and then 2 days into our road trip, and that was promptly thrown out the window. And arrived 2 days late to one location and arrived a day early to the next, and it gave you a sense of just, man, just enjoy the 2 weeks while you're here. Enjoy the time, and we'll get there when we get there, and enjoy what's around you while it's here.
I have a place in Valdivia. I lived there for, I don't know, 6 years. My grandpa lives there. They have a bakery there, so it's amazing. And when we went there with all of you, we were like 15. My grandpa said to me like, hey, you can't stay with the 15 persons here at home. So we found that private beach when we go stand-up paddling. And I never ski in that river before. I pass through that bridge, I think, every day when I'm in Valdivia, but I never like ski under that bridge. And that was cool. That was amazing. I liked it.
the river getting down, so the boat now is completely at the beach. Nothing touch the water. It's not really good for us.
Are you ready to ski, Zach?
Yeah, no. Buenos dias. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
This is really far up there.
Oh, no.
Close to the water.
Oh, no. I bet people going down the river. Look at us. Gringos. Oh man. It's like we're staying another day. We're gonna try to take our entire crew and lift the boat on its side and then stagger it all the way down to the water. But it's not gonna work.
Hold on.
So
7 hours.
3 o'clock is a really high tide, so we're gonna have to wait until 3 o'clock.
The water is really salty here. Oh. With beer, probably it's better.
One of the trucks coming in got stuck on the pass trying to get through to the lake. It's pretty muddy, so we had to pull him out. Hopefully we'll be able to actually get out when we ever actually leave this beach.
Today, the last one.
So we got together, got the boat in the water, and now everyone's kind of got a little pep in their step, and now we're getting the gear packed up, and we're gonna try to hit the road ASAP and head to our next location tonight.
Why?
My dad will film me.
We made it.
Did we lose anything? What's that smell? No.
It's the clutch.
That's American driving.
That's Chilean roads.
Hit this thing and like got air off the front tire. Yeah, we probably should have left before the tide came all the way in, so now we're had to put it in 4-wheel drive. Dad never really traveled much until the opportunity came up. I mean, growing up in a small town, working for mom and pop, traveling the world was never really possible. Just being tied down, he had kids, and then so when the opportunity arose with my skiing, he was the first one to jump on board and said, regardless of what's going on, we're gonna make this happen. It was after that that my dad was really set on finding a way to travel. I mean, he was 45 at the time, and it was, hey, I've got to get out. Like, I've 45 years of my life, and I've only really been past Texas a few times, and now it's like, hey, I've got to get out and go do this. And that's when we started working together in the water ski scene and traveling together and doing a lot of that stuff. For the most part, he kind of lived vicariously through me a little bit, you know. Fuck.
It's no secret that my parents had a huge influence on me. Like almost all children, my father was and is a dreamer, an adventurer. He took us all over the continent chasing flat water and good times. But I still have my father. And what I realized sometime early on in this trip was that all 4 of the gringos that came with me had just lost their fathers within the past 18 months. It was sobering, but it was also hopeful to see them finding ways to make the most of each moment. I'm sure a big part of their positive outlook on life comes from what they learned during their time spent with their fathers. And I couldn't help but think maybe we all might have something to learn from each one of them.
Stop wiping your eyes and go do something, you know, like get out there. You got 2 weeks, do as much as you can. Embrace it. Do it. Really experience it. Not like through your phone or through a camera, but really feel it. Market we found on the side of the dirt road that we're gonna stop and load up for dinner for the night.
So we just bought food, and the good thing about buying food here is you help out families instead of big businesses. They were really appreciative of us doing that.
You know, driving around this mountainside with the end destination, towing a boat, 3 others behind us, kind of just wandering, so to speak. And we came over this gnarly bridge with the volcano in the background. There's this beautiful blue crystal clear river, and as we drive over the bridge we see a boat ramp right there. We have a boat until we have all our gear with us. Let's just drop in right here and go ski. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, within the time of driving over this bridge to the time of me being on top of the water was, 20 minutes. That was really cool. You don't get to experience that too often. You're in such a remote part of the world, and all of a sudden you just dropped in and took some turns. That was cool. We just formed this alliance, this group of friends, 15 deep. And it's not too often you can get 15 people together, get along so well, and then everyone just out of their trucks, out of the windows. We had the drone footage above, the sunset coming in, and it wasn't anything special. We were just getting to our next location. We were just making it to our campsite. Yeah, it's a sunset down a dirt road, but man, you're doing it with your buddies. It's a sunset down a dirt road. How awesome is this? And everyone's out the windows, and I had those moments day after day, hour after hour, this entire trip, and that's something I'll never forget.
Me quedé sin casa, me quedé sin plata, me quedé sin puertas que atravesar, me quedé dormido, me quedé en silencio y no pude más. Me quedé esperando que todos se fueran, para llorar tranquilo, para echar de menos, para hacer pedazos lo que pensaba de la realidad. Y estuve sentado en la carretera semanas enteras sin la billetera, no sabía cómo, cuándo, a dónde.
Doug Tompkins was one of the pioneers in modern rock climbing. He was one of the first guys to climb the big walls in Yosemite, and he was really at the cutting edge of climbing at his time. He started a company, North Face, and he sold it. and he bought a lot of land down here in Chile. And at first it was kind of a conflict because people didn't trust him. He was saying he was going to make national parks and give back to the people, and that really doesn't happen, and that's why people didn't trust him. But as we see today, what he gave back to the people after he died was the biggest donation ever in history. And we got I don't know if the best national parks, but definitely the best maintained and really the best infrastructure. You can really see the difference of his work versus the rest of the parks. And we got to see what he built while he was alive. Like at Lago Yelcho, we saw his work, what his work was like. I have a friend who works here, and he told me we should leave at least a week or 5 days to be here so we could get 1 day of good conditions. And we only had 1 day, so you have to really respect Patagonia. You never know when it's going to be good or bad, or if it wants you there or if it doesn't. You can see how the conditions are really extreme when you see a guy like Doug Tompkins, like a real pioneer in the extreme sports and outdoor activities. He died in this lake because it's really, you can't really respect it enough.
It's cold, windy, I don't know what it's looking like, so
Rolled out this morning at 6:15. Clouds rolling in, weather doesn't look good.
When we were crossing the lakes, it looked really ugly. It looked like it was going to rain. It was really windy. The waves were really big.
Our last day in Patagonia is going to be kind of this washout, and we're finally getting ready to ski here.
Gringo Loco!
We get to our site, we drop off the camera gear, and then the heavens open up, and it's like poof, this big beam of light comes over the mountain. It's like, we're here. Like, this is it. We found the perfect cove, the perfect location, glass water. I got in, and everyone else was like, I want to go, can I go next, can I go next? And it was like everyone came in, it was cold water, cold air, and everyone was just like, you know, just pumped. And me seeing that, seeing other people so excited about what I love so much was really, that was number one. What I experienced this morning was the perfect cap to a trip like this.
This was a crazy idea I had. Probably no one would have pursued this idea because it was just a dream. It was kind of unreal. And I went at it, wrote an email. I'm not really a good skier, not that good of a climber either, but I'm here with the best skiers in the world. Some pretty good friends, new friends, old friends, and dreams do come true.
We came to Patagonia to find adventure, make new friends, and see a part of the world we've never seen before, through the lens of water skiing. But we left Patagonia with a far greater gift, the understanding, deep down in our souls, that the act of seeking adventure is far more important and far more fulfilling than the practice of playing it safe. I once had dinner with Warren Miller, my filmmaking idol. I'll never forget what he told me that night. Unfortunately for you, it doesn't fit this story. However, I do remember something else he said, somewhere in one of his movies. Adventure is the invitation for common people to become uncommon. Can you think of a better place for adventure than Patagonia? We couldn't. The world is lucky to have dreamers like Douglas Tompkins and Augusto.
What you doing, bud?
Making handle.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but I just forgot if I put it here, I'm not going to be able to get it off the steering railing, am I? Okay, let's start over.
Can you tell me what just happened this evening?
Super Bowl or the fact that we have no ropes or vests tomorrow for our photo shoot?
Both.
Both.
Because both are equally as disappointing, I'd say.
Yeah, well, Brady got another win. Atlanta really dropped the ball on that one. Speaking of dropping the ball, one of our skiers that we had with us the whole time decided to head back to Calico with half our gear. So I'm gonna have to like rig up a handle on the fly. So I got some old rope that we found in the truck, some PVC I found in the cabana's backyard, stringing up a rope. What do you think?
Yeah.
That calls a little bit. Let's close up. It's 1 o'clock now. We wake up in 6 hours.
No.
No, 4 hours.
4 hours.
Wow. 4 hours to go free ride in the
Lago.
in the Lago. Let's see. Sorry, man, I can't think straight. I'm really upset the Patriots won. Bums. Upsets me a little bit. It's a mastermind. It's good.
That triangle.
Okay,
Just
let me
a
find
little,
it.
just a little bit.
Well, that's what they're getting today.
Just a little
That's
bit
what we have to deal
lopsided.
with. Just
Just a
suggest you kind of rotate your arms a little bit and it'll be fine. Hey, I'm building.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a masterpiece here I'm working on.
Looks fucking good.
I know, thank you. Looks fucking good.
Saco hueá.
Saco hueva. Zach the idiot. That means.
It's pretty good work for no fid.
Dusty ass rope.